Well, hello everyone, Philosopher Stoner. So this is my like dozenth attempt at uploading this video. I'm making a new recording. I'm going to be as quick as possible. Uh, Response video addressing the comments on my video on Efilism and antinatalism. So here we go. Oceanic Estate said something that technology has conquered the human narrative, and we're living on a kind of plantation, something to that effect. Yes, I agree completely, and that's something I'm going to get into in just a minute, addressing another comment. Forever Wolf Films, old fan, Amanda. I responded to her comment by text already, but this is just addressing the follow-up comment. Yeah, don't take it that I'm butthurt or offended. I understand you're busy, everybody's busy, but I am definitely not at the top of anybody's priority list. Not that it matters, but yeah, it's all right. It's okay. Like, don't take anything the way I'm saying anything wrong. I'm not butthurt or offended or anything like that. I was running that Facebook group for a while on Efilism, but for reasons I'm about to get into, I've quit Facebook. At least taking a long break from it for now. I am willing to get more involved, perhaps, as you offer. Yes, definitely interested, but perhaps on YouTube only and not really involving social media. So yeah, that's that. Mr. S says that I share Gary's political outlook. I'm not entirely sure that I do. I agree with him about demographic voting, instant runoff voting. There's a test that I've done many times. It's called the political compass. It divides basically into 4 quadrants, left versus right, on social issues and economic issues. You can Google it, check it out. Oftentimes I get right-wing libertarian or left-wing libertarian, but again, these labels are arbitrary, elastic. The definitions change over time to fit the needs of the powers that shouldn't be. But I don't think we would agree about everything. No. Definitely the antinatalism stuff and the vegetarianism stuff, but other things politically I'm not sure that we would agree about, but I could make a really long video about that, but I want to try and keep this short, so yeah. Gay Rad Feminist Beard made a very long comment saying that this idea, Efilism, antinatalism, whatever, can make us happy. Well, I'm not so entirely sure about that. It is definitely liberating in many ways. It can free you from having the obligation of taking care of kids in a family. So it does free up your time, and it frees up a lot of your money that you don't have to spend. It's one less negative to deal with. But beyond that, you need a philosophy in life, a strategy in life to take care of yourself, self-reliance, and to find your own economic niche and basically, yeah, take care of yourself. It's why I don't really get involved in too many groups or whatever, because yeah, they're not going to take care of me, and hey, guess what? I'm not going to take care of them. And politics oftentimes is, yeah, like people donating and people doing all this stuff and all of these movements. It's most people just don't want to accept that, yeah, you got to take responsibility and figure out a lot of stuff on your own. And total freedom means total responsibility, and it's certainly, I don't really think it is a very happy ideology. We've all come to this idea set through an awareness of just how, our world is run by totally corrupt psychopaths, basically, and there's not much we can do about it, and we're frustrated, and a lot of depression, social anxiety, and other cognitive problems and mental health problems that I've noticed amongst most of the adherents of this philosophy. And yes, it's lamentable, it's a shame. Anyways, moving on. A user by the name of Mossad agent Robert Maxwell made a bunch of comments on my videos, and interesting. I like the name. It's very provocative, and it's something that even in the Epstein conspiracy theory people don't want to talk about. Is that guy, the father of Ghislaine Maxwell, who's been in the media a lot, the father involved with the Mossad Israeli intelligence and all that rabbit hole there. Because no one really, you can't have a civilized conversation without it being you're an anti-Semite and you're a Nazi, because you think Israel has a sort of unnatural influence on American politics. And no, I'm not a Jew hater, all of that, no, but definitely it's not a conversation you can have because you can't win, because of all the shrill voices of the cancel culture and the mobs of hysterical people on social media, you can't fucking talk about anything. So anyway, yeah, but just want to say that, why do you leave like 6 or, however many comments? Like, just make one comment, Not that I don't appreciate the comments, but you leave a bunch that I'm going to address in just a sec. Natalist V talked about charity. I definitely agree charity is a worthwhile avenue to pursue, but I do think a lot of charities, you have to do your due diligence and research and make sure that the money that you're giving them is actually going to the productive cause that it claims to support. Oftentimes it's people with money donate to a charity basically to pay somebody else to advocate for the social issue or to solve the problem. A lot of these charities are corrupt. They pay, maybe 20, 30% or less of the money that they raise to the actual cause, and the rest goes to pay CEOs, executives, people on the payroll to do more fundraising, and they're like a big business. So yeah, you got to be careful about charity. Not saying don't do it, but just be careful and do your research. Once again, Mr. Mossad agent mentions the Protocols of the Elder Zion. That was a big book that Henry Ford was really into, and also, yes, Hitler. Once again, you can't seem to talk about Israel without attracting this element of these people that are, legit Jew haters and Nazis. Don't be posting crap like that on. I didn't delete your comment, but yeah, I'm not a racist. I don't hate Jewish people. It's one of my controversial opinions that I have about, again, the influence of Israel on American and world politics as well. And I don't hate Jews, but it's an issue that I think should be discussed. But yeah, I don't support Protocols of the Elder Zion. Fuck off with that stuff. I don't mean that personally. I'm just, just saying, excuse my language. Just another YouTuber 3 commented about asking what theology am I referencing. I've made over half a dozen videos on this subject. It's the thinker Jordan Maxwell, talks about astrotheology. So basically how our planet, most religions are referring to astrology, the cycle of the sun, the moon, and the stars. Every Christmas, we celebrate the return of the literal sun in the sky, and the sun is clinically dead through 3 days, and then the days start getting longer. And it's the worship of the seasons. And anyways, you can look into Jordan Maxwell, and he talks all about it, goes into it. It's something that I happen to agree with, although the guy is a nut job and he believes shape-shifting reptilians run the world. So, some guy, he has a sensible theory about one thing. He's a complete crackpot on something else. But anyway, yeah, go look into it. I've made many, many videos talking about the subject. I'm not going to entirely rehash it here. Once again, another comment, Mr. Mossad agent. He talks about we need mavericks and shock jocks. Yes, we do. Yes, indeed. However, you also need logic, and you need an argument, and you need an emotional case. If all you have to offer is shock value, it's much like Marina Abramovich's spirit cooking. That's all that is shock value, no real substance to it, no real message. Then yes, it's probably degenerate and base, and you got to have other stuff and make a case. He talks about the Venus Project. Yes, I agree with those guys about the whole central banking thing a lot. The good videos. See Zeitgeist and Zeitgeist Addendum with the Venus Project. Good documentaries talking about the whole fiat currency central banking system scam that's plaguing our world. But it is just one piece of the many-headed hydra of the puzzle about who runs the world. But yes, definitely worthwhile to check them out. He then makes a comment that the old gods shall provide the lie, and I don't know what he's referring to. I don't know what old gods, and I don't know what lie he's referring to. So, I don't know. He then says 23 is young. Yes, in our era, 23 is young, but historically, we would have all been dead probably in our 30s and 40s in primitive hunter-gatherer times, so we live an unnaturally long lifespan in our era. Anyways, I could go on and on about that, but I guess 23 is young. Mr. S talks about that I look like Hunter S. Thompson and asked me if I've ever done DMT. I went into my adrenochrome video. I'm not a junkie. I'm not a drug addict. Yes, I have talked about using marijuana and magic mushrooms, but in a very disciplined medicinal use. that I've already talked about as nauseum, based on this adrenochrome thing and the people that he knew in Hollywood and whatever else. I'm not that convinced that he was all that great of a guy. But I don't have any evidence to prove that he's really guilty of any particular crime. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I support legalization of certain drugs, but again, for medicinal uses, for legit, for the magic mushrooms for curing severe depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, that kind of a thing, in a very religious, spiritual, ritualistic sense as a rite of passage into adulthood or to help with those problems. Do that sort of, maybe once every 6 months, once a year, that kind of thing. And the marijuana, again, for medical reasons. Otherwise, I think all other types of drug use, just for pure recreation, it's not a lifestyle, it's not fun, it's not something that I support or agree with. But yes, I've tried it once. We all go through a phase where we want to try these things, but then you grow up and you realize, well, you got bills to pay and all that kind of a thing, that it's not a lifestyle. It can be one component of your life, but it's not a lifestyle. You need other stuff in your life, a mission, vision, goals, things that you're doing, philosophies, ideas that you support, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, DMT certainly was interesting, and I've mentioned it a couple of times in some of my other videos and talked about my actual experience. He then asked me what my views are on transhumanism. I made one of my last videos, Big Tech is Evil, Facebookistan documentary, where I talk about the whole big tech agenda with the singularity, which is the merger of machine consciousness with human consciousness, the merger of humans with AI. I think it's evil. I think it's anti-human. It's longing for the post-human world. And I know this is bizarre for me to say this, speaking as an anti-natalist, but I do believe anti-natalism acknowledges our humanity. Every major religion has a celibate caste of priests or whoever that don't reproduce. That we've known for quite a long time, at least the intellectuals and religious people have known that, yes, life is quite compromised, but antinatalism is the recognition of our humanity, that we're born to die. We have the whole suffering here on earth problem and the whole mortality problem, wanting to live forever with technology. Life doesn't really go anywhere. And yeah, I think it's all bad news. I think the big tech people are evil. I think merging with machines, I think it's unnatural, it's evil, and it's so that a bunch of decadent, elite, corrupt psychopaths can live forever. Nah, I don't support that. He then talks about the pragmatic value of this philosophy, antinatalism and Efilism, and says that it doesn't have any, or misconstruing what I said, and that we need a Stoicism or a Buddhism. You need something else, as I said before, to manage your life, self-reliance and an economic plan to take care of yourself. And yes, these Stoicism and Buddhism, etc., can be good spiritual coping mechanisms, but that's all they are. I'd argue since we have birth control and nuclear weapons, we need to maybe move beyond those things. Those people in those eras that created those philosophies had no choice but to accept this condition. Now, in a lot of ways, we are sort of the gods. We decide what happens here. We decide if the human race continues or not. Whether we want to accept that or not is a whole different story, but we don't have to keep playing this game of being like a kind of Eeyore character in Winnie the Pooh, saying, well, life kind of sucks, and then keep acquiescing and accepting to it. No, we don't have to do that anymore. But yes, if it gives you some comfort and it helps you to cope a little bit and help you soldier on to fight the good fight, and actually improve the world, then yes, go for it. But yes, we need to move beyond that. That's basically... Oh yes, just another YouTuber 3, another comment. How were these organizations created? I'm assuming that he means the charity organizations, and I have no idea. Try to be more specific with your comments, but anyways, yeah, that's basically it. Thank you everyone for watching my videos. I really appreciate the comments. I like the intellectual stimulation and feedback. This was an unusual video that I got so many views and so many comments. It hasn't happened for a long time. I prefer addressing these comments in video form because this is, after all, a video website. I don't like writing lots of text and making these little mini essays. So yes, thank you everyone for watching my videos, even though I did say some sort of disparaging and rude stuff in this video. But yes, it is appreciated, and yes, thank you all for watching. Philosopher Stoner out.